When I was a little girl, Mum would serve my brother and I up some warm porridge in the mornings, and we would get a little spoonful of brown sugar and sprinkle it over the top and watch it all melt through. It was so delicious. Now, while there's nothing wrong with a little bit of sweetness to add to a wholesome meal, today I'm going to show you how you can make a no added sugar porridge with the goodness of Aussie fruit. And I love my role at Hort Innovation because I get to visit all the growers across Australia and learn how they grow the freshest fruit. So I went up to Michael Henry's farm in Harcourt, Victoria, and learnt all about how he grows his delicious apples and pears.
I'm Michael Henry. I'm from Henry of Harcourt. I'm an orchardist and cider maker here in Harcourt in central Victoria, where I grow apples and pears. I have about 4,500 trees. We currently grow 3 varieties of eating pears, and we grow 4 varieties of pears specifically designed for making perry or pear wine out of. Originally, we got into horticulture because my parents wanted to get out of Melbourne and basically have a tree change, quite literally, and we bought this orchard and quickly learnt how to grow apples and pears.
Now, what is the best climate for growing pears?
The best climate for growing pears is one that's very similar to growing apples. So we need good water, good soil, but most importantly, nice long hot summers and a nice cold winter to allow the fruit to set for the next season.
So there's a lot of innovation that goes on in farming. What sort of things have you learnt and taken on board here on the farm?
Well, when we first purchased this property, these trees were heavily under-maintained and they were overgrown, and we needed to bring them back into a productive situation, and that's where Hort Innovation and their future orchards, particularly their orchard walks, helped us out. We learned how to do some renovation pruning, which brought these guys back into a more manageable situation, and then we learned how to maintain them for their best production, because we didn't want to rip these guys out, because when we bought it they were 60 years old, which means today they're 80 years, and it would seem a shame to lose that sort of history.
Well, Michael, I've really enjoyed my time here on the farm and enjoying seeing how you grow Australia's freshest pears. Now I'm going to take some of your boss pears and make a delicious turmeric latte porridge.
Ooh, that sounds perfect.
Well, thank you, Michael, for pairing me up with nature's goodness, and I'm so excited to make my turmeric latte porridge. And this is something that I make myself nearly every morning, and it's a great way to start your day and kick off your metabolism. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat on, and I'm going to just place my oats and milk in the saucepan. And this recipe makes for 2, but you can always make more for the whole family. And milk adds a lot of calcium, which is really important for building strong bones. So I'm going to add some sultanas. These are from Mildura in Victoria, and also some prunes. Now I'm just going to chop these up. Now, believe it or not, if you have 6 prunes a day, you can increase your bone mineral density. So this is a real bone building recipe. So I'm also going to add some hemp seeds. Now, hemp seeds are very on trend right now. If you don't have them in your pantry, you could use flax seeds or sunflower seeds or pepitas. Really just add what you have. But the goodness of seeds brings so many different vitamins and minerals and adds a lovely texture as well. I've got some chia seeds. So I'm going to add some warm spices now. Some turmeric, which is great for anti-inflammatory properties. Some cinnamon, which brings a lovely sweetness to this recipe, and some ginger, and just a little bit. Now, you can add different spices, whatever you really feel like. It doesn't have to be these ones, but I thought a nice little twist on the normal porridge is to add those turmeric latte flavours, so you just feel like you're having a really delicious, sweet, wholesome meal to start your day. I'm also going to add some nuts to this porridge, and you can go nuts. I've got some macadamias and I've got some pistachios, both grown here in Australia, and these nuts will add a lovely texture and also lots of protein. So by having more protein in your porridge, you'll feel fuller for longer and it will last you all the way through to lunchtime. So I'm adding some pear today. So when I was out at Michael's orchard looking at all his beautiful pears, I asked him, what's the difference and how can you use them in cooking?
We grow Packhams, we grow Williams, and we grow the Bosc, the brown pear, the Burr Bosc.
And what sort of things do you use those different varieties for?
The Williams is generally considered a canning pear. The Packham pear is a very good stewing pear. It makes a really nice sauce or jam pear. And the Bosc is the one that I like to use most for making into meals and desserts because it is such a good flavoured pear and cooks really well. In terms of cooking, my favourite dish is a pizza using marinated lamb, some rocket, caramelised onion, a bit of brie and then sliced Bosc all over the top. Very nice.
Sounds delicious. Well, thank you, Michael. That was so interesting and I'm so lucky we have you growing pears in Australia. It has a nice sweetness, this Bosc pear, a little bit more firmness as well, so it's going to work well in this porridge. So all I'm doing is popping these pieces into the porridge with this peel on as well. Don't peel it. The peel has a lot of fibre and antioxidants as well. Now I have one final ingredient, but this is optional and it's a vanilla bean. These are grown up in North Queensland and I'm just going to split it in half so that some of those sort of seeds can go into that porridge and add a lovely vanilla flavour. Now if you don't have a vanilla bean lying around at home, don't worry, it's not essential. You could use vanilla extract or you could simply leave it out. It's just a nice to have and adds a nice little vanilla note to the turmeric latte flavours. Okay, so the porridge is cooked. I'm so excited. It smells delicious. I'm going to take out that vanilla bean and let's plate up. So I've just plated up my porridge. I've got some nashy pear on top in a little bit of a fancy fan, some fresh blueberries, a dollop of yogurt, and some beautiful macadamia nuts and pistachio nuts. So this is my winter warmer, my turmeric latte porridge with poached pears. Thank you, Michael, for having me out at your orchard, and I hope you enjoy this as much as I do.